Obsessed with sounds on the track.
It's hard to believe that we're already in February of 2025. Time is meaningless at the moment. In January, I played several games. Would like to take a moment and share my thoughts and personal rankings on each title. I'm late as hell, but late is better than never. Per usual, that's how we roll on this channel in the first place. So let's get to it. And the mustache is coming back. All right, so let's get into it. So Double Dragon Advance, I'm putting it into B tier. Double Dragon Advance is going into B tier. So why is it going into B tier? Now, don't get me wrong. It's a good game. It's a really surprisingly good game for, I guess I shouldn't say for a Nintendo Advance game, because there's a lot of good Nintendo Advance games, I imagine. Not a big Nintendo Advance concierge. Like, I don't know my shit when it comes to Nintendo Advance, especially handheld games. I wasn't really fucking with the handheld games. I was into video games back then, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna shut the fuck up. So the Double Dragon Advance is B tier. So I enjoyed playing it, and I'm a fan of the beat 'em up genre. Like, fighting games and beat 'em up genre is probably my top two genres to play. So, but however, Double Dragon isn't my go-to when it comes to beat 'em ups. I mean, Double Dragon is not a franchise that I would, normally go back to. I wasn't a real big fan of the first trilogy. Double Dragon 3 for the NES was my favorite, which is surprisingly the most hated one. Go fucking figure. Super Double Dragon was good, but like at a technical standpoint, but that shit was so fucking slow. It was so fucking slow. So that just hurt my enjoyment of the game. I remember even back then, because my sister, she had a Super Nintendo, and I remember borrowing Super Double Dragon from a friend and being able to play it, and I was like, this is not good. It's really slow. But like the moves in it, being able to catch the foot and, slap the shit out of them and, throw them over your head and, do the whole catching mechanic to like catch their fist and catch their legs and then pull off moves from there. That shit was pretty dope, because a lot of other beat 'em up games weren't doing that. So I thought that was cool, but it was just so damn slow. But with this one, I found my next favorite after Double Dragon 3. Like, it plays like a Super Double Dragon, but at a way more faster pace. It's very action-packed. The story is pretty typical, Bimmy and Jimmy in the garage giving each other reach-arounds while the girl getting manhandled by the guys outside. Apparently, she can't stay off the block. She's out there all the time, fam. Like every Double Dragon game, she's out there, and she either get hauled off or shot or something. She belongs to the streets, fellas. Just let her go. So the weapons were cool. The moves, they varied. It was a breeze to get through, but I guess you ask, why wouldn't it get a higher ranking? It's still a Double Dragon game. Like, it has so many cheap deaths, like, falling off the lower screen and dying, and which is, you know, the staple in Double Dragon games. I died so many goddamn times falling off an invisible platform. That shit is very annoying. But overall, Double Dragon Advance is a good game. I highly recommend it. It's in the B tier. It's a cool, quick game with, you know, dope moves and good action. I recommend this game very much. And I don't know if this game is a sleeper with Nintendo Advance enthusiasts or not. I haven't heard about it until I played the compilation on the Nintendo Switch. So didn't know much about this game until then. So if you see this one, if you find this compilation, or you know, find a copy of Double Dragon Advance somewhere, pick this one up, man. It's a fun time. Okay, so next game. Hold on, let me put this in first. Okay, because this is definitely for later. This is definitely for later. All right. So next game I played in January was Thunder Ray. Now, Thunder Ray is definitely D tier. I say definitely, but so D tier for Thunder Ray. Thunder Ray feels like a mobile game. It's that's been ported to, you know, modern consoles. I love the art style. I love the kind of, you know, comic booky, you know, anime type look of it. Look of the, you know, the main character, Thunder Ray. Yeah, the look of it and stuff is fine. It's actually pretty dope. But it feels like a mobile game. And I just didn't find it fun to play at all. The developers tried to take elements from like Super Punch Out and Mike Tyson Punch Out and just like overcomplicated it. I don't remember much about the story, as like, you know, like I said, I didn't make it very far in the game. This is one that I'm pretty much know for sure that I'm gonna go back to and give it another run, because I feel like I didn't give it a good shake. But when I tried it and I played maybe a couple of rounds, I was like, I don't like this. It was like a, you know, they with the moves itself, they did this whole thing where, you know, you had to do this one charge thing for a super, and then you got to press these two buttons to do this other move, and it was just a whole lot. And coming from, you know, with Mike Tyson Punch Out being a favorite of mine, if you put that type of gameplay into this and bring, you know, like a modern style to it, the modern artwork and, you know, everything like that, and just, you know, keep that type of controls, that's one of the instances that, you know, having old school controls kind of benefit a modern game. And yeah, it just took me out of it. But, you know, like I said, I might not gave it a good, you know, a fair shake. I'll try it again, and, you know, maybe it'll go in my higher ranking maybe next month or something. Who fucking knows? So, but as of right now, it's D tier for me for Thunder Ray. Didn't get through a whole lot of it. Just, you know, played a couple of rounds, and yeah, it's D tier for now. So the next game I played was Air Twister. Air Twister was a decent game. It's a rail shooter game that, you know, pays homage to Space Harrier and the Panzer Dragoon franchises. It's pretty easy to get into. It's actually kind of challenging on the back end of the game. Looks great, looks dope. It feels like a Dreamcast game with just better frame rate. So the negatives of the game, the skill tree seemed like it was just useless. upgrading to maybe like, you get like an extra heart. And it's said that it kind of, makes your character a little bit stronger and a little bit faster. But you couldn't tell getting back into the game. You could not tell if your upgrades even meant much. So I didn't upgrade my character very much in the game, and I still got through it pretty easy. So yeah, I think in a rail shooter, in a game like this anyway, I feel like there's no need to overcomplicate it with the whole upgrading tree system. And I'm a big upgrading your character type of dude. If I can make my character to the point of being fucking superhuman and shit, I'll do it. I'm all for that. So just on this game, it just felt like it was not needed. So the big issue was the music. So you have this, I'm trying to explain it. It's like Queen. It's like a cover band for Queen, right? But they're not singing their songs. It's not singing like, the songs from Queen. They're just singing like songs that they wrote, if that makes any sense. Like it's very, very weird. You go through the first level and they start doing their thing, and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. You got this, it's like an AI version of, Freddie Mercury. And have you ever seen a dog when you say, if you have a dog and you say something weird and, they kind of perk up, they kind of tilt their head and shit. That's, that's how it was when this started playing. And then like, it just got grating, and it got so fucking annoying after the second level. And I'm like, and they just kept on playing the same 3 songs over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to turn you down, bro. But I got through it. I just turned the music down. The music was not good in this game at all. Very, very weird choice to have a cosplay Freddie Mercury and Queen do songs that wasn't from Queen. And yeah, it just it was very, very fucking weird, bro. Just very weird. Overall, Air Twister was a fun game. Like I said, the homage to Space Harrier and Panzer Dragoon, like the shooting, the lock on to enemies, and shoot your missiles, and the kind of how the monster type of enemies that you deal with, like in Space Harrier. So very very fan servicey, I guess. Is that even a word? Very fan servicey of those franchises and stuff. Most likely, I'm just probably being nitpicky when it comes to the music and shit, but it just I didn't like it. So, but yeah, C tier, C plus. It's a C plus, close to B. If you like rail shooters, give this one a try. And yeah, C tier, C plus. So next game I played was Valis 2. Valis 2 is no doubt, no shadow of the doubt. Valis 2 is D tier, in my opinion. D tier for Valis 2. Valis 2 is an action platform game from the 80s. And it's clear that it's from the 80s because it shows its age like really fucking quick. However, I know there's a big fan base for these Valis games, and I'm sure they'll appreciate the nostalgia factor. I mean, but for me, it didn't turn me into a fan. The gameplay was the problem. The gameplay was a bit of a slog. And I imagine, like, if I played this back in my youth, growing up in the 80s, I would have probably thought this was amazing because of the cutscenes. Back in those days, you know, we didn't have like full-fledged, you know, animated cutscenes like this on a regular basis. So, you know, to play something like this back in those days, I would imagine would have been pretty dope. The cutscenes between levels for the time, I imagine would have been, you know, pretty cool to see. But the action was just a letdown. So they continue the story of the first game protagonist, Yuko. I think she was trying to get back to her sister, but I'm not entirely sure about that. The story is simple, but the game has a story nonetheless. Again, I could not get into that gameplay. The enemies were the typical old school respawn off screen, the repetitive hit sponges. I played on the Nintendo Switch, and it had this mechanic that you can use to rewind the game if you die or some shit. I used that shit like 70% of the gameplay. I kid you not. Because of just cheap ass deaths. You know, it was only 6 levels, so I felt obligated to finish the damn game, but I did not enjoy majority of it. The music is good. The cutscenes, for what they were, saved this playthrough for me. Like I said, you have to be a fan of Valis to probably enjoy this one. And they made a shit ton of Valis games. I think it's like 6 of them total. I could be wrong about that. But so maybe I just, picked a bad one, I guess. I got the first 3 on this compilation. So I'll check out the others and see, what I can get out of it. But holy shit, man. Not a fan of this one at all. So Valis, Valis is D tier, hands down. Not the best of games. Can't recommend this one because it's just not fun. So Valis 2. All right, so this might rub some people the wrong ways, but Resident Evil 3 remake for me, in my humble opinion, is A tier. Okay? A tier. This is the second playthrough that I've done of this remake, and I fucking love this game. For whatever reason, not a lot of people like it. It's because, I don't know, because it's 6 hours to beat, which that makes it fucking A++ for me. A Resident Evil game shouldn't be no longer than 16 hours at that, and that's probably even still too fucking long. No Resident Evil game should be that fucking long, bro. But like I said, everybody fucking hates this remake. Not me at all, and everybody else can go fuck themselves. I'm a huge Jill Valentine fan. I think I'm more of a Jill fan than Claire, which is kind of weird considering like my Resident Evil of all time, my favorite Resident Evil of all time is Code Veronica. But yeah, I dig this game so much. I always thought this game was so fucking fun. This whole playthrough was so damn fun. Big fan of, Carlos and his storyline. You get to play him for a bit. You get to go back to prior to Leon showing up. Was it before he showed up? Or was it after? No, it was before, because old dude got bit and shit by the other dude. Man, I got old man brain and shit. I'm forgetting names and shit. But Y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, just a lot of fun. It was more action in this game, I felt like, in my opinion, than the Resident Evil 2 remake. And the biggest problem that I personally had was that you couldn't solve a puzzle, you couldn't go up a ladder, you couldn't fucking scratch your ass without Mr. X up your shit throughout the whole fucking game after he showed up. For this one, they had Nemesis and they dialed that shit back 60 fucking percent compared to what they was doing with, you know, Mr. X. And that shit, you know, that made it less annoying and made you want to get through the game. I had no desire to beat Resident Evil 2 remake because of that shit. That shit got so goddamn annoying. Every time I turned around and stuff, he was fucking there. I hated that shit. So I don't know if that's a, you know, a hot take or not and shit. I can't fucking stand that goddamn game, and I love this one. So, you know, take it for whatever the fuck you will and shit. This game is the fucking titties. It's not my favorite modern Resident Evil game. I would probably, you know, tip that hat to, you know, Resident Evil 4 remake. But it's pretty fun. Like I said, I kind of, you know, I kind of cheesed through the game. I got the, you know, the fucking AK with the limited bullets and the goddamn bazooka, and I just mowed through the whole fucking game real quick, you know, just to, you know, get through the story and just, you know, just enjoy it. You know, you get, you know, people in comment sections and whatnot, and they say, well, you know, this game sucked, or why did it suck? Oh, because it wasn't, you know, it wasn't long. Okay, what else? Why what else? Well, that's it. I'm gonna go fuck off, okay? That's so dumb. It's good. It's a good ass game. It's a fun game, one of the best in my opinion. Highly recommend it if you haven't played it. Don't listen to fucking commenters and everybody else just shit on this game for no fucking reason. It's a fun fucking game. Quick playthrough, in my opinion. That's good enough for me. Okay, so let's get back to it. So next game I played was Mortal Kombat 9, and Mortal Kombat 9 is definitely getting a A tier from your boy. This was considered at the time like a reboot of the franchise. It hit you with the old Thanos retcon, which changed the storylines a bit. Beyond its reputation as a strong fighting game, Mortal Kombat 9 is basically always has been praised for having one of the best single player campaigns ever. The narrative is like intertwines with like elements from the original trilogy and some of the like the 3D era Mortal Kombat games. NetherRealm were in a bag in the early 2000s. Good roster. The Mortal Kombat 9 Johnny Cage, he was fucking A1 in that game, and they had some of the best fatalities out of the franchise. I'm thinking of like Kung Lao throwing the hat on the floor and using it like a saw blade to split you up, and like Cyrax cutting you in 4 pieces and then like kicking your body, Jax pounding you into the ground and then kicking your head off like, you know, a la Justin Tucker. But back to the story, I loved how it presented like multiple characters' perspectives of what's going on instead of just focusing on like Liu Kang or Sonya. The backstory of like Cyrax and Sector off the top of my head was dope. They were just basically ordinary ninjas before they became, you know, like the Cyber Warriors from the original 3rd game. It's a cool insight into the fuck me, I can't stand this goddamn word, lore that, you know, you only get if you like read, you know, maybe like the books or the comics or any other the texts, through, you know, research through, you know, like the history of like Mortal Kombat. My one downside was it had nothing to do with the game. It was that I played this on the PlayStation 3 and I couldn't record my own playthrough of this game because I have not learned how to record PS3 gameplay. PlayStation 3 has a restriction that can't be bypassed with just like a basic capture card. So I'm still looking into, you know, trying to figure that out. If I mean, it got to be a way to do it because I've seen YouTubers who stream this game, so I know it's possible. I'm not sure how I'll will sort that out, but I'm definitely planning on getting it figured out for future videos because I got a shit ton of PlayStation 3 games, I'm sorry, that I'd love to talk about, but I'd rather use my own B-roll. Okay, so the next game I played was the Company Man off the Nintendo Switch. First of all, we're going to give Company Man a D in the rankings. D for Company Man. D plus. You know, that seems more fair. D plus because, well, the game started off actually pretty interesting. The first two levels I actually enjoyed. I actually liked due to the story itself, but like as it progressed, I began to like just automatically just feel bored playing this game. It was tedious, it was repetitive. On the other hand, the story itself was interesting. Like, you play as this guy that, you know, trying to, you know, come up in this company, trying to make something out of himself, but shit gets all fucked up when another employee sets you up. Suddenly you like, you know, you get sent down to, you know, basically like, you know, the lower tier workplace, and you kind of got to work yourself back up, basically. You know, so a lot of work puns, if you've worked anywhere and stuff, this game was like showered in that shit. So now they got you fighting your colleagues. Like I said, the story was interesting. You work for your stepdad in order to, you know, support your jobless father who loved, you know, playing video games all day and end up getting left by his wife. No, this isn't based on me and my son's life. It was a unique concept, but unfortunately the rest of the game didn't click with me. So the leveling system was quite basic. The visuals were fine, but you know, it just, once again, it felt like a mobile game. I don't know why I got that in my brain lately and stuff, but it just, you know, it just felt that way. It felt like cheap, you know. It's just how I felt like with certain titles lately. The enemies was cheap, you know. The difficulty spikes was, you know, that shit was annoying. It was one difficulty spike almost at the end, because I'm pretty sure I had like one boss left to get through, and it was enough to just take me out of the game. I'm not feeling like pushing through games I'm not enjoying anymore just to finish them, you know what I mean? So the Company Man, it had promise. It fell short. It fell short of whatever I was expecting from it. I did not like it. So, I mean, would I recommend, you know, somebody to play it? I mean, at least try it, I guess. not everything's for me or for my own taste. So, you know, somebody might, you know, love this fucking game. So, but the gameplay, I would recommend it for the story itself. Honestly, if you want to get through it and, you know, see what happens. So yeah, D tier for Company Man. Okay, so yeah, this one's the Dead Island 2. You're going down there. That's where the fuck Dead Island 2 is going. Okay, so the next game I played was Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2. It gets this ranking. It gets this ranking right here. I wish I could give this game a proper ranking, but I couldn't, because this game to me was so fucking bad. I stopped playing it within the second hour. The gameplay was bad, which was enough for me to stop playing it right there. I don't need perfect gameplay to keep me invested in the video game, but I don't want that shit to bore me to tears. They overhauled the survival aspect of this game way too fucking much. First of all, the stamina system, every time you run or swing at a zombie, reeks of like a Souls-like. And to the fucking rooftop in multiple videos that I've made so far is that I fucking hate that shit. It was a story here, but again, I didn't stick around long enough to see anything evolve. So you pick one of 5 or 6 characters that sneaks onto this plane, right? They trying to get out of Los Angeles, and then the plane crashes. Then that's when you start the campaign. As soon as they told me to pick something up and fight these damn zombies, and how I was losing stamina all the while these zombies were coming at me, I lost it. I was like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this at all. You have this like backstep dodge that rarely works. The swinging mechanic is basic, and it takes up stamina like right away. I'll hit a few zombies a few times. They may go down, and then I have to run off and basically fill up my stamina meter again. It did that shit way too much. So I gave it another hour to get into like the world of Los Angeles, and I just kept on picking up like stuff to craft with. I hate this game pissed me off. I hate crafting in games when, well, let me rephrase, when it's not done right. I hate it. This wasn't done right. The crafting was just like combat. It was tedious. I couldn't get enough B-roll because I just wanted to be done with this game. So that I'm not like, you know, full blown negative about the game. It looks amazing. Like the zombies look good. You know, the runners, the little thick woman zombies and shit. Smacking them in their jelly legs and shit. That was fun. But the setting, like, you know, apocalypse in LA is a dope idea. The look and feel were like pure LA. Didn't get that far, but what I saw world building wise was good, but it just was boring. I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't force myself to play through this game. And to top off everything, and this, you know, I was actually in the mind frame of trying to go ahead and plan this game out. I said, I'll play it out, but if I kind of figure out how to cheese the game and like get through it faster by cheesing the game and shit, I'll try. So I had this game for a while, but around Black Friday in 2024, they had DLC. And so I bought these weapons for DLC. Granted, it was just a few dollars, so whatever, no biggie. You know, who gives a fuck? But why in the fuck do you have to wait till you get to a certain point of the game in order to use your DLC. I paid money for a DLC weapon just so I couldn't use it till I got to like 2 more hours of the game. When I found out that I was, I got this sword and this gun and stuff that, that I wanted to try to use, and you had to get to a certain spot before you get there, and that place wasn't like showing up no time soon. I'm telling you, I swear, I don't get mad. I don't get mad. At the end of the day, it's just a video game, whatever. But I wasn't going to keep on playing it. I ejected that shit out and I was done right away. It has co-op, so maybe if you played it in co-op mode, it would be this game savior. But I had zero interest in playing this game with anybody else. The difficulty spice was in bipolar mode. I'm done with this one. It's a fucking 0 for me. If we ranking them, this game is fucking trash. I do not like it. I do not like it. All right, let's move on. NBA Street was the next game that I played, and it's automatically, without a shadow of a doubt, S tier for NBA Street Volume 2. So I played NBA Street Volume 2 on the OG Xbox. It is nothing short of a classic. You understand what I'm saying? For sports in general, not just arcade sports, sports in general, this game is the fucking titties. Effortlessly captures like the essence of street ball while still giving you like, that arcade feel about it. Like awesome gameplay, the controls are tight, responsive. I spent majority of my time playing Be a Legend. This is where you make your own character, you put a team together, and you just go up the street ball ranks while you're going like through different cities, famous ballparks. You upgrade your dude, and you can add like new players to your team. You basically get 2 jobbers for the first few games, but as you progress and more games, matches, and games you play, you start grabbing your Jason Kidds and your Kobe's. You always feel bad cutting somebody off your team for a better player. Like I kicked off this chick for Yao Ming. I mean, shit, he's the fucking block king in this damn game. Then you got like the street ball legends, the I don't know if they're fictional or non-fiction. I don't know. I don't know if they're like based on, Stretch always felt like, a Dr. J. And then you had like Biggie Littles and you had Dime. So they got you playing these tourneys and you upgrading your character, learning some new sauce. You buying the Mitchell and Ness throwback jerseys. Let me say, like, this was an era. Like, it only lasted like a few summers, but the throwback jersey, Air Force One, triple XL white tee was the vibe back in the day. What really set the game apart was always, the commentary, from Bobito, aka Cucumber Slice. That Bronx, New York type energy was top tier. He'll always say like something new, like anytime, even when I was playing it now, it was just, he was just saying like different things that you never heard him say before. Or like as you progress in the game, they'll give you your own nickname. So when you're doing dunks and you making shots, they'll call your nickname out. In my opinion, NBA Street will be always a classic. The amount of innovative things EA Sports and his shit, hell, EA Big, EA as a whole were doing back in the day was something I hold to the chest, because they were pumping out some of the best titles from that era. And not only to like hold up in 2025, but still be better than what's being pushed out right now says a lot. This game is a S tier for me. So we'll make this one quick, because if I don't make this one quick, I'm gonna ramble on. I really want to understand what's going on with this fucking game. Okay, so the last game I played in January was Control. This was the first time, my first playthrough with this game. This is one of the games that, you know, I put on my heavy hitters games to beat this coming up in 2025, which was one of my goals. I popped this one in right away, and it is a B tier for me. This is a B tier game. The vibes are great. The vibes right off the bat, when you first go into that federal building, like, you feel like it's some weird shit going on. The vibes are great. The action is great. The upgrading Jesse to, you know, fucking Supergirl level overpowered agent, all that is good. The eerie feeling to start from the federal building, and they have like all these twists and turns in like every area. There's some shit going on in the cafeteria. Just crazy shit. You gotta fight off all these different, you know, workers from this federal building that's turned into, you know, I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are, but that takes me to my issue with the game. But all these things made it a solid B- tier game for me. The problem was the story. Like, seriously, am I missing something here? Am I missing something? I feel like I jumped into the sequel. Like, Jesse's searching the federal building for her brother who has been held captive, but it seemed like everybody was expecting her to be there. Like, she was there for like a job. Like, she listen to me. Wait. So she was one of the new federal officers, and God damn, I had no clue what was going on in this game. And at one point she was interested in finding a brother. Then it seemed like she was more interested in the voice in her head and where that thing was that, you know, that was leading her, and where he was leading her into certain parts of the game. So before I played this game, I stayed away from reviews, and that's pretty impressive, because this game is a few years old. But the one thing I did hear about it, that it was connected to another game franchise somehow. I'm going to assume other than myself has played this game already, you know, in the past. But you know, I'm just going to talk about it. You get these voices narrating sometimes, and one of them was Alan Wake. So I'm trying to figure out. So am I playing through like one of his books? It was very fucking confusing. Like, I did not know what was going on. Honestly, I found the story to be all over the damn place. It got to a point where I just couldn't take it seriously, because it felt like I was just missing something important. It's possible it could be, you know, something that I did wrong. Like, I skipped over a lot of the, you know, text from the files that you pick up, because it was a lot. Like, you pick up a lot of different files, and it's just a lot of stuff to skim through. I didn't touch most of the side quests because I wanted to get through the whole game. I didn't mess with the DLC, which probably had more details about it, but I just, through the main game itself, I was not getting it. But I finished the game, It was satisfying. It was fun, but that game was out here way too, Twin Peaks X, jargon, wink wink, if you know, type shit from this game. But it was solid, so it gets a B minus at least. So yeah, that's. Now I do want to go back and rectify something. Air Twister is B minus also. It's a B minus. It wasn't a bad game. It's just the music was shit, and it's nah, I don't trust my own self. But yeah, B minus. Yeah,